Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Explore Forestry. I'm sorry to have been away for so long, but I'm happy to be back and discussing forestry-related topics with all of you. Today, I thought we could take a look at the concept of sustainability. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but do we really know what sustainability is and why it is so central to combating climate change? Can we also see how it's being misused and can mislead people into thinking that they are performing actions that benefit the environment but really don't? Let's start at the beginning. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines the term sustainable as 1. Capable of being sustained. 2a. Of relating to or being a method of harvesting or using a resource so that the resource is not depleted or permanently damaged. For example, sustainable techniques or sustainable agriculture. 2b. Of or relating to a lifestyle involving the use of sustainable methods. For example, a sustainable society. What does any of this mean? I think definition 2a comes closest to really encapsulating the colloquial concepts of sustainability as it is perceived in the public's consciousness, while definition 2b is an acceptance of personal ideals that manifest themselves within a person's daily rituals. The UN Commission on Environment and Development defines the broader concept of sustainability, in this case sustainable development, as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. By this definition, sustainability has elements of multi-generational equity. What we use today should not negatively impact future generations' ability to live at least at the same standard of living that we have now. Under a sustainable model, the ways that we produce and consume energy would not impair future generations from being able to produce energy at the same rate and availability. This is why so many sustainability advocates are pushing for a transition away from fossil fuels. Burning fossil fuels creates conditions that are worse for future generations for several reasons. First, fossil fuels are a non-renewable resource. They cannot be reproduced within a relevant time frame for the quantities being consumed. Second, the exhaust from fossil fuel combustion releases molecules like carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere. These gases trap solar radiation from exiting the Earth's atmosphere, creating what is known as a greenhouse effect. This is what the vast majority of scientists believe is causing global warming, which in turn is altering our long-term weather conditions and is commonly known as climate change. Sustainability is often thought of as 3 areas that interlock and heavily interact with each other. They are called the pillars of sustainability. The first pillar is ecological. When you think of the images associated with sustainability, they're typically picturesque natural settings, maybe symbols or images of leaves or trees, etc. This is the strongest association the public has with sustainability, thanks to many well-marketed branding campaigns, and we'll discuss that later. The second pillar of sustainability is social. Sustainable solutions have to not only be ecologically sound, but they have to protect the social welfare of people. There is an entire branch of the ecological movement dedicated to environmental justice, which is the pursuit of ensuring that all people are treated fairly when ecological issues occur. I'll give you an example. It is very common for waste sites and public dumps to be located in lower income areas. This is unequitable because a facet of society is receiving more health and safety consequences than another area, even though they may not be responsible for the waste being there, and they may also be unable to voice their opposition to having that site in their community. This is a huge topic, and we will certainly be exploring it in a greater depth in a subsequent video, but for right now, I just wanted to bring that term to your attention. The last pillar is economic. We have to be able to afford these developments. We need to make sure that those who benefit are paying their fair share, and we have to keep solutions within the realm of fiscal accessibility. Now, each of these pillars is vastly complicated, directly related to each other, and highly influential on each other. The key is to find balance. What developments can we make that are equitable ecologically, socially, and economically to both people today as well as future generations? This is where it gets tricky, but not impossible. Every day, scientists, advocates, legislators, and concerned peoples around the world are making progress in determining the best solutions for these issues. It is important that we acknowledge that cultures, geographic locations, and local economies are not the same across the board, and their approaches to sustainable development won't be either. I'd also like to mention here that sustainability is not a new concept. Indigenous communities all around the world have been practicing sustainability for thousands of years. Somewhere along the line, our value system changed from thinking that humanity is a part of nature to humanity is above nature. There are many reasons why that occurred, and we will certainly be discussing philosophy and ethics in the near future. For now, it is key to remember that sustainability has been practiced for thousands of years, and indigenous cultures are important signifiers of how humanity may yet readjust to a more stable balance with the rest of the biotic community. So, now that we have a bit of a wider idea of what sustainability is, how is it misappropriated? Over the past decade or so, sustainability has joined a number of buzzwords that have become shorthand for good, responsible, ethical, etc. Corporations use the term sustainability because they know it will activate the desire in the consumer to be a part of the solution. For example, a truck company will state how their newest line of trucks emits 30% less greenhouse gases, and they'll say it's good for the earth. It's not really good in the sense of something positive. What they are saying really is that it is less bad. As a consumer, we need to be able to distinguish between less bad and good. One is still a negative term and one is actively positive. If someone is putting poison in my food and then decides they will put 30% less poison in my food, it doesn't become good, only less bad. It's still poison. The concept of parading the term sustainable in front of products is known as greenwashing. Now, not every company that uses the term sustainable is greenwashing. Some companies really do care about the environment, and you can probably tell by looking at their company history exactly what their guiding principles are. However, most multinational, tax-dodging, super conglomerates who claim to have an eco-friendly and sustainable line of products still engage in non-sustainable practices. If a company is using less plastic in their bottles, but still investing in oil speculation and fossil fuel-based portfolios, they are not sustainable. They don't really care about sustainability, they just want to expand their markets to consumers who care. Unfortunately, the way our economy and laws are set up, it's on the consumer to research the products and history of the company. It can be an unreasonable burden on the consumer at times, and companies know this. By sticking a buzzword like sustainability onto some packaging, the consumer feels that they are buying into the appropriate choice for their moral stance. All this to say, be careful when you purchase sustainable products. Try to figure out what it is that really makes the product sustainable, and if the company makes non-sustainable products as well. If you really want to do some research, look into how the company treats their employees, how they source their materials, and if a credible third party has verified compliance to sustainable ideals. One example of this is the FSC, or Forestry Stewardship Council. They are a third party that verifies if timber has been grown and harvested, and a set of principles that reduce harm to the forest and ensure that materials will be available for future generations. I know we covered a lot of concepts and material in this video, and it may take several viewings to really absorb everything if this is your first introduction to sustainability. But now that you know a little bit more about the concept, is it different than what you imagined? Will you look at products the same way when you go shopping next? In any case, I hope this has been informative and helpful to you, and thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to our Explore Forestry YouTube channel to receive updates when new videos are posted. Please also consider joining our Patreon so we may continue to bring you more videos like this. Patreon members are listed on each video, and other benefits can be found for the various tiers available. Lastly, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more updates. We appreciate your support and keep on exploring.